Okay, magandang hapon. Kamusta po kayo lahat? Good afternoon everyone. Sana po ay nakapag-lunch na po tayo lahat. At kahit sana po busog na rin po kayo at ready na po kayo mag-attend ng ating seminar today. Sana po busog pero hindi inaantok. Sana meron din kayong kape tulad ko. And I hope everyone is excited because we are about to start. Digital na ba me? Upgrade mo na ang business mo gamit ang latest online tools. This is a new webinar that we are doing to be able to help yung mga ating mga SMEs at mga ating mga negosyante sa buong Pilipinas. So we have an exciting afternoon for you guys here today. We hope you are ready. But before we start, we would like to hear from our very own Department of Trade and Industry. And we'd like to welcome this afternoon with us today, we have Ms. Cynthia de la Cruz, Division Chief of the Monitoring and Evaluation of the DTI Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise Development. Hello, magandang hapon po, Ma'am Cynthia. How are you?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, let me put context into this Digital na ba me webinar session of the NextPay and of course with the support of the DTI. Good afternoon everyone and to all our audience. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. First of all, we at the Department of Trade and Industry, Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise Development would like to express our gratitude to NextPay Philippines and the three digital startups who are joining us today, Prosperna, Last Mile, and All Care, who are specializing in different aspects of running a business, from selling to delivering goods, down to managing finances and taking care of employees. We appreciate their willingness to share their knowledge and expertise on how digitalization can help improve and scale up our SMEs. This kind of learning sessions are very timely during these trying times. The Philippines at large was hit by a health crisis. Thus, the unusual scale and depth of this pandemic challenged different models of resiliencies like no other calamities. MSMEs, particularly for one, have been hardest hit by the pandemic. It has particularly taken a toll on businesses, with the current situation resulting to unsteady or irregular business operations, significant decline in profits, layoffs, and sometimes in worst case scenario, retrenchment of employees and closure of businesses. In some occasions, startups and aspiring entrepreneurs are already discouraged in pursuing their journey, which require hurdling the barriers in starting, growing, expanding, and sustaining the business because of the pandemic. Digitalization will fundamentally change the way we live, work, and do business as we adjust to the new normal. It is expected to change the whole context, especially for MSMEs in which business processes are organized and could present opportunities for economic development. It is important for SMEs to embrace digitalization in order to expand their businesses. New digital technologies must be integrated to provide MSMEs an advantage in terms of being competitive with others. It is understandable that some MSMEs are afraid that using digital tech tools will cost a lot of money. However, technology is becoming cheaper and faster in recent times. At this point, may I request the NextPay team to flash on screen the tech tool for MSMEs? Recognizing the power of digitalization, the DTI was quick to put together resources that will help MSMEs adapt to new technologies necessary to cope with the pandemic. We have gathered the resources and shared them to the DTI's website, Tech Tools for MSMEs, as part of the DTI COVID-19 resources. The DTI actually that the NextPay is also part of this tech tool for MSMEs under the e-payment. Yes, you can see that on screen. Of course, we have all other partners already included in the tech tool website. The DTI also partnered with various platforms like the Google Philippines, PLDT, Easy Builder Pro, among others, to help MSMEs reach more clients by increasing their digital presence. DTI also conducted a series of forums and webinars through the Control Biz Reboot Now. Now we're also organizing this Next Pay with you to target MSMEs who need to transform their business digitally. Enablers across the entire e-commerce ecosystem provide their expertise and experiences on how to take advantage of the digital space. These are just some of the ongoing digitalization activities that the DTI are pursuing to help MSMEs cope with the pandemic and also take advantage of the opportunities of digitalization. We congratulate NextPay for sharing our advocacy and organizing today's event. With this learning session this afternoon, we encourage our MSMEs to use the online tools that will be presented here today. We sincerely hope that the latest online platforms will serve as a tool for our MSMEs to grow and expand their businesses. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners involved in this endeavor as we work towards fulfilling our commitment to our MSMEs and potential entrepreneurs to help them become competitive and resilient as they embrace the opportunities and challenges of globalization and what the new normal brings. Thank you, and let us all embrace digitalization. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much. And that was Ma'am Cynthia de la Cruz, Division Chief of the Monitoring and Evaluation of the DTI Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise Development. Maraming salamat, and it's really nice to know, no, na ang DTI natin ay talagang nagtatrabaho to be able to help small businesses and MSMEs by being able to connect them to the latest online tools. And isa yun sa talagang gusto natin magawa this afternoon. Ano? Gusto natin ma-introduce ang mga potential na mga online tools na magagamit ninyo lahat. And I'm very, very happy to say that and that we are all working together with the DTI to be able to do this. So now, as mentioned, we have a lot of exciting stuff to talk to you about. So this afternoon, let me introduce, ito po ang ating mga magiging speaker today. So we have Jeff Sarmiento of Last Mile, Dennis Velasco of Prosperna, Cindy Burdette of All Care, and yours truly for NextPay. So excited na ba kayo? Ready na ba kayo? So ang masasabi ko lang is dapat excited na kayo, pero kung may questions kayo, huwag kayong mag-alala dahil ang gagawin natin, gagamit tayo ng isang special na online tool. So kung meron kayong mga tanong para sa ating mga speakers or in general na gusto niyo lang itanong about negosyo or digitalization, we are going to be very happy to answer your questions. Ang kailangan niyo lang gawin is kunin nyo ang inyong cellphone para ma-picturean nyo itong QR code na to at siguro po sanay na po kayo mag-QR code, no, dahil sa quarantine natin at sa contact tracing. So ganito lang din po 'yon. Picturean nyo lang po yung QR code, i-visit nyo po yung website at makikita nyo siya. Pwede po kayo mag-enter ng mga questions doon and then makikita nyo po yung ibang tanong ng ibang tao. So makikita nyo kung meron nang nagtanong ng question ninyo and ang gagawin nyo na lang is i-like nyo na lang o kaya kiklik nyo yung up button para dumami yung ibig sabihin na nagtatanong ng question na yon. So pwede ko sa inyo pakita sandali kung ano itsura nun. Or kung hindi magamit ang camera at gusto nyo pupuntahan yung slide, just go to slido.com. Ito po, slido.com, and then input nyo lang yung event code na Digital na ba me? Okay? So let me share lang really quickly kung ano yung magiging itsura pagpunta nyo dun sa page. So ito po ang inyong makikita. So pag nakita nyo po to, you can lalabas po to at the start and then pwede po kayo mag-enter ng question right after. And then makikita na po natin kung ano yung mga ibang tanong ng mga lahat ng tao. Okay? So we are encouraging everyone to ask questions and interact with their speakers today. All right. So let's get started. Let me just adjust this. All right, so first up, we have a very good friend and colleague, and he might look very familiar to you guys kasi siya ay nasa the final pitch na TV show, and after that, they were able to get funding and fundraising. So very successful po ang kanilang final pitch na na episode. So he's here to talk a little bit about their company. We have Dennis Velasco, the CEO and founder of Prosperna, and Prosperna is focused on helping Philippine MSMEs boost customer acquisition and retention with an easy-to-use e-commerce platform. Doon sa mga interesado magbenta online at mag-e-commerce, makinig kayo dahil magsasalita na ang ating expert, si Dennis. Good afternoon, Dennis. How are you?
Hey, Artie. Kumusta?
Good, good. Excited na yung mga tao natin. So I hope you have an interesting story for us today. Go ahead.
Yeah. First off, I have to say, ang galing yung Tagalog mo.
Gumagaling na yung sa'yo, Dennis. Gumagaling.
All right. We'll try. But no, happy to be here. And yeah, thanks for the mention on the final pitch.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Let me share my screen here. And just if you could confirm. And around that, I think one of the most exciting things about the recent fundraise is, now we've really got the serious ability to empower our country. And that really is our mission, to empower more than 100,000 MSMEs with simple and affordable e-commerce software. Now, as we jump in along this journey, what I want to share with everybody today is number one, some insights as to what's happening here in the Philippines when it comes to e-commerce. And then I'm going to shift gears and talk about, well, what can Philippine MSMEs do to leverage these trends and insights? And then I think what we found is really helpful, Artie, is to share success stories so that other Philippine MSMEs can be also just as equally inspired, to really embrace what's happening around them. And of course, we'll share a little bit about how and what we're doing to help, our country. So sound like a good plan, everybody? All right. So let's jump in and let's talk first about what's happening, right? What are the top 6 e-commerce trends that we're seeing as we're on this journey of helping Philippine MSMEs? So first and foremost, there's just a massive shift in behavior. And then when you drill down into that shift in behavior, you can actually see who and what demographics are actually making that shift. And I think while a lot of these things might seem and feel obvious, I think the best thing to help give Philippine MSMEs confidence about what they're really seeing and feeling is by looking at statistics, looking at validated numbers. Ito yung totoong, this is what's really happening, right? So first and foremost, it's really interesting to see that there's more than 30% of people out there in the Philippines that are shopping for something that they typically used to buy offline at a traditional retail environment. But now they are finding those same products and looking for them online. And so the question is, are those products easy to find, right? And what merchants, what MSMEs are going to do to make their products easy to find? Next, when it comes to such an intimate product like groceries, because syempre gusto mo fresh na fresh, or you want, a specific brand, and, those brands that you eat and that Filipinos really enjoy to put on the table, people are actually, having the courage to buy their groceries online. And at least 42% of the people that had said they had shopped for groceries in the last 2 weeks online. Now, what's even a really bigger trend is representative of the massive shift in what consumer behavior is doing. Because I think we'll all agree, we heard that saying before, na, hindi ako techie, right? Well, that phrase will be soon dispelled, because if you look at the statistics, there's a massive shift of 84% of people have admitted this is the first time for them to use digital applications and digital software. And if you just follow the consumer, you can see exactly where they are and what you can do as an MSME to put your products and services in front of them. So if you drill down further here on the right side, let's take a look at the age and income segments, right? So huge number, 78% of people who have used digital software for the first time is that 45 to 54-year-old demographic. So many of those folks who, you might think would be slower to adopt, well, guess what? That's not the case. 78% of them said, sige, I will try it online now, right? And there's even a significant population of the over 55 who have specifically said they plan to shop more online in the future. And this is not just for the, folks who have, access to financial means. Even low income respondents have shown that they too plan to shop more online, right? You look at how prolific, Facebook is, because they have, the ability to post your products and services for free. And Lazada, you can find a lot of very affordable products, and Shopee. So today, the trend is basically cutting across all ages, all income levels, all different kinds of products, right? So this is a huge opportunity for, I think, our country because, again, as we mentioned, everybody said before, na, you know, more traditional kame, but now the numbers speak for itself. So uh, let me ask you, Artie, I'm sure you're a big Netflix fan, and if you could chat or spout out, what your favorite Netflix show and series is. But if I asked you, hey, give me back your Netflix, and I'm going to give you some DVDs, would you be okay with that, or would you rather stick with Netflix?
No, thank you.
Right. There's no turning back, right? Once you're on Netflix and streaming on YouTube, streaming videos like we are today, it's hard to go back. Now, that wonderful smartphone of yours, Artie, I know you're a cutting edge guy. If I said, hey, I'll give you in exchange for that beautiful looking smartphone that you have, I'll switch it with a flip phone. Are you likely to say, yeah, sure, Dennis?
I appreciate that offer, but no, thank you.
Probably not, right? And here's a funny thing. Before I moved to the Philippines, it was I would call my cousins about 10, 12 years ago. I can't remember exactly, and just asking about how the adoption of technology was work, and they would tell me. I would ask them about Google Maps, and they go, "Ay, hindi mag-work yan dito. You have to ask, and that satellite up in the air, that's not going to work." Well, I don't think anybody could find a traditional map at a gas station anymore. So it's interesting because these are very, very simple, small things that show how prolific technology is. When people say na hindi ako techie, the reality is the technology is so good, it's been transforming them and they didn't know it, right? So these things are, like history has shown, are things that we'll probably not go back to. Like we don't go back to the stone chisel, right? Or steamboat engine, vehicles, right? And we're now going to electronic vehicles. So these trends are huge. So in speaking of these trends, what can MSMEs do? How can they act on these trends to win online? Let's take a deeper look. Number one, content is king. This is an overused statement, but is still extremely true. There has been anywhere from 3 to 12 times more content put online. And because we're all in front of that device, people are searching for information, hungry for research, bumping into different products and services. So it's important as an MSME for you to produce more content so that the search engines, so that Facebook, so that Viber, so that your brand pops up more and more, right? So what is your audience looking for, right? Those consumers, what are they looking for when it comes to content? Well, you can do and create things that make it easy for customers to find your products and services by putting and listing your products in as many places as possible. What about creating content to show people how your products work in comparison to others, right? How about making it easy for them just to pay instead of negotiating kung paano magbabayad, right? And then of course, shipping, probably one of the most difficult things that you'll hear about today. And you've got to make it easy so that with a good experience, consumers will buy from you not just once, but they'll buy from you again and again, compared to other merchants who make it just absolutely difficult, right, to buy from. Tip number two, building your brand is still about traditional relationships, but you do it all online. Artie, I'm sure you're a pro at this, pero parang online dating, right? You still have to make friends online. You can't be afraid to meet new people online. And as long as you're genuine and trustworthy, then you'll find a lot more people finding and connecting with you, in which later you could perhaps share with them some information and content that we just discussed, right? That leads to educating your customer. And then tip number three is whatever you do in terms of content, whatever you do in terms of building digital relationships, you've got to do it consistently. That's the one thing that, forget about digital, just in life, anything that you do consistently, you have a higher chance of succeeding. And consumers say that consistency is the most important factor when it comes to building trust with your brand as a merchant. So, Artie, I just really wanted to keep these things simple. And I will tell you that these three things, you know, these are the things that make our customers at Prosperna extremely successful. So let me share with you a couple of the success stories, right? Um, the cookie dude. I don't know about you guys, but I have a sweet tooth, and I have been a cookie fan for almost my entire life, and I've scoured the earth looking for the best cookies, and I think I've found them. The cookie dude, right? And they sell out of their cookies all the time because they're crunchy on the outside and gooey on the inside. And they used to be introverts, and they found a new passion and love sharing how they make their cookies. And of course, you can easily buy their cookies in case you may not be able to perfect it, right? So you can find Cookie Dude very consistently because they produce a lot of content on a very simple product. This is all they sell: 3 products: the original, the cinnamon, and the white chocolate, right? Now, when it comes to beauty and skincare, Skin is Skincare is another great success story because they went from traditional retail. They used to be a lot of the retail locations, and said, look, people still want to look good and feel good at home, right? Looking good and feeling good is about being confident, right? It doesn't matter if you're in home or out and about. So Skin is Skincare is another, Philippine MSME who has combined their brick and mortar to bricks and clicks, with the Prosperna platform. So it's easy for customers to find them. Here's one of my favorites, Artie. This is Poke Lee. I'm sure you're probably familiar with the famous showbiz celebrity Poke Wang. Well, she has been known to do some homemade cooking for her staff on the set. And that, hobby of making homemade recipes turned into a small home-based business, and she was traditionally selling these at all the bazaars. But clearly there's no bazaars anymore, especially as we come up to the next half of this year where it becomes the Burr months and the holiday seasons. So they created Poke Lee Foods, and you can see them very consistently in a very, home style raw way on YouTube, showing how they cook. And of course, they make it easy for you to buy, to pay, and to ship their homemade recipes directly to your home. So those are just a few of the success stories, that we've been able to, help along this journey as MSMEs transform to digital. So what can Prosperna do? Where do we fit into the picture? Let's take a quick glimpse, because, this is one thing that has really been a passion for me. Because I grew up with 2 parents that were both small business owners. And I fell into technology as that was the first company that hired me. And then I was able to really put this dream together, of one day coming back to the Philippines, right? To share my experience in technology and empower our country. So today, Prosperna is the only single vendor solution. We're the only single company where you can get both your own brand.com fully featured online store that can connect with Lazada, Shopee, Facebook, etc. And you can get MyChat, which is a social commerce platform, right? And where you can sell directly inside of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and others. So here's a little bit of how it works. So this is just a quick view, right, of where inside of Facebook, your consumers can see your catalog, and without ever leaving Facebook, right, they can select different payment types and automatically book shipping right then and there. Now, you can also, with MyChat, have your own mini online store, right? Because people are not just shopping on Facebook, right? I think every village has a Viber village group. And so now you can share your mini online store catalog on Viber, WhatsApp, via SMS and even email, right? And still from that simple link, you can offer customers a view of your catalog, get them to easily check out, and book shipping just in a snap. So when I talk about payments and shipping, here are some of the most commonly used methods inside the MyChat solution. So you can start offering, right, in an instant, right? MasterCard, Visa, Gcash, Pay Maya, 7-Eleven, GrabPay, yes, and of course COD, and yes, electronic bank transfer, where you don't have to show a copy of your screenshot, right? And now the cool thing is we've got pre-integrated shipping with some of the nationwide shippers like Viajeros, Lala Move, Grab, and LBC. And one thing that our MSMEs love is the ability for consumers to also just very simply click a button and book their own shipping, or even stop by your store and pick it up, right? So what's really cool is we're making not just e-commerce simple, but we're making it super affordable. So with MyChat, you know, what we're doing that's really special for our country is we're actually making MyChat for free, right? And the e-commerce payment gateway transactions are very affordable. You can see that here. And shipping starts from as low as 55 pesos for the first 5 kilometers. So, you know, Artie, we're just trying to make e-commerce accessible and simple for every Philippine MSME so they can win in this days in the way the new norm is working. And, you know, above and beyond technology, you know, one thing that we find that's really, really valuable for, you know, Prosperna customers is just providing the best local support. You know, we've got a team, a growing team of over 45 people, you know, helping Philippine MSMEs, putting Philippine MSMEs as a top #1 priority, right? So getting us started is easy. Just head over to the Google Play Store and you can download the MyChat app. You don't even need a laptop. You can do all this from your mobile phone. So Artie, the DTI, NextPay, and my friends here, thank you for your time. Please feel free to connect with me and the Prosperna community. Thanks.
Grabe. Thank you so much, Dennis. And wasn't that exciting, guys? So dun sa mga tao na nag-iisip talaga na magtayo ng online shop o e-commerce shop, hindi pala ganun kahirap, no, Dennis? It's so easy. So all they need to do is visit Prosperna and find out what to do. And I'm sure Dennis and his team will take care of you para they can get you up and running right away with your online shop together with everything else that he mentioned. So again, a lot of exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. So again, I just wanted to remind everyone, if you have any questions, don't forget to be able to ask them. Ang gagawin na lang po natin, si Dennis will be staying and be answering questions a little later. So iwan nyo lang po ang inyong mga tanong. So visit nyo again, slido.com, lagyan yung event code na digital na BAMNI. O kaya i-picture nyo po ang QR code at dadalhin din po kayo doon sa website na po na yon. Okay, so meron na tayong online shop, no? Meron na tayong online presence, nakakabenta na tayo. Pero ano pa ang mga kailangan nating gawin? Eh di ba kailangan natin ng mga delivery solutions? So why don't we hear about it from Jeff Sarmiento of Last Mile. So he's the head of business there. And Last Mile offers a logistics platform ecosystem to address the core issues of businesses that operate their own distributions and those that rely on third-party delivery couriers. So yung mga nagde-deliver sa atin, no? And they help create the best delivery operation for your business. So I hope, again, excited na kayo matuto about mga services na ganito, and our expert for today, we are going to hear from Jeff Sarmiento. Magandang hapon, Jeff. Kamusta ka naman today? Jeff?
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good to be here having us Last Mile here in this webinar.
All right, very happy to hear from you. So I'm gonna stop my share para you can share your presentation.
Okay, sharing now.
Oh, there you go. You're good to go. Maraming salamat, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, RT. Good day, everyone. Right now, presenting to you our startup who have built the Philippines' largest logistics ecosystem. And I'm Jeff Sarmiento, co-founder and the head of business for Last Mile Inc. Last Mile is a shared logistics innovation company that changes the way your business operates your last mile deliveries. So we have a 3-product platform ecosystem that aims to solve the pains for businesses that operates their own logistics operations and also for businesses that relies on third-party logistics service. Do you know that Philippines ranked first on the largest e-commerce growth in Southeast Asia with a recorded 57% growth in 2020? For an e-commerce business to be successful, it requires a perfect mix of reliable last mile delivery support. It can't be a revenue until it gets delivered. This year, 2021, e-commerce revenue is expected to reach to $4.42 billion in revenue in the Philippines. With the annual growth rate or expected annual growth rate for the next 4 years of 14.75, the industry is really massive. Imagine the average basket price from the data is around $26 per basket. And if you divide $26 to $4.42 billion revenue that is expected this year, we are expecting roughly around 170 million deliveries to be fulfilled by our courier partners. With this number, logistics industry is really thriving and probably the reason why there are lots of new logistics brands that can be seen in the market. Deliveries has been a vital part of operations by most businesses, especially during the pandemic, when restaurants, retailers, groceries, pharmaceuticals, hardware, and a lot more different businesses is now seen building their own e-commerce store for them to be able to reach to their customers. Where people are being restricted to leave their houses, buying items online is starting to be a norm for most of the households. And I'm pretty sure even your parents and grandparents at home certainly was part of the e-commerce growth here in the Philippines. I'm sure yung mom, dad, or grandfather mo, makikita mo Lazada and Shopee, and they're contributing to the growth of the market. For most people, in their perspective, operating an e-commerce business might look so easy, where sellers post items online, get an order, get paid, and expect the delivery according to the commitment, right? But it's not that easy. I'm sorry to say, but it is true. It's not easy. Everything should be perfect and seamlessly prepared. Now you really have a good product to sell to your customers and you have the target customers already to sell your product to. But for an e-commerce to be successful, it will only be a revenue when it gets successfully delivered to the customer. So it needs to be delivered to the customer before it became a sale. Otherwise, if it gets returned to you, wala ka rin kinita, right? So a well-planned delivery strategy or a reliable delivery partner is needed for an e-commerce business to be successful. The typical things that we normally ask to guide our customers and help them create the ideal delivery operation structure for their business are, what are your products? Because it could actually affect delivery options or strategies that we can actually imply to make your logistics or delivery operation successful. How would you like it to be delivered? It's very competitive nowadays that an online store should be able to deliver their goods right away. Based on the Filipino culture or personality of Filipinos, normally they go online because they wanted the product now. So you don't want to waste that feeling, right? Where your customer wants to buy the items now and they wanted to have it delivered now. Before, it was the pain or it was the gap between going online to buy items, because if you go online to buy items before, it will take you roughly around 3 days before you get the item, especially even though if you're in Metro Manila. And with that, a lot of customers normally just go to retailers, to the mall, so they can get the items right away. If you can actually shorten that experience and deliver the items conveniently to their houses right away, that would actually change the game for e-commerce platform. Next question is, how far is your serviceable area? It's important for you to understand your product and how far you would like to offer the product or deliver the product to. So for food and perishable items, you need to understand what's the room temperature, life of your products, so you can consider how far you'll be delivering the product to. But if you're selling merchandise or any products that it's okay to be kept and routed anywhere else, it's important for you to have a bigger range for deliveries, right? So having a bigger range gives you more opportunity to sell your product everywhere else. And what are your delivery options? The fourth question would be, what are your delivery options? So it means like we ask them, how do you plan to deliver it? Would you plan to deliver it yourself, having your own delivery team, or do you plan to outsource it to a third-party providers? Customer approached Last Mile initially with the questions or intention to access our 3PL network. So we have a network of third-party logistics platform providers in one platform. Like a customer would normally ask, we are looking for a third-party provider who can deliver my product because my product is like this and that. Then based on our partners offering and our understanding being like speaking with a lot of logistics partners, we provide them options. So we tell them like, based on your requirement, these are your options and these are their rates. And these are their commitments to service the customers. And the decision of the customers will vary mainly on price, serviceable area, provider SLA, so how many days does that provider commit for them to deliver from one point to another, and definitely the brand. For such customer, we offer Deliveries PH platform as a solution. So this is our first product, Deliveries PH, where a business can access the largest nationwide logistics network and their services in one platform. We simply describe it as the Skyscanner or Airbnb for deliveries. That we believe one powerful dashboard is all a business need to take control of their fulfillment, where customer decides to whom they would like to book their deliveries to, so they can decide based on their experience and their knowledge and the price and whatever it is, monitor all the delivery history and statuses rather than going to different websites to check the status for every website, and hopefully you can extract reports so you can have like a holistic understanding on all the items being dispatched and delivered to your customer, and create consolidated reports to all delivery. So with all that, Deliveries PH can actually provide you all those controls for your business. Our Deliveries PH customers benefits from our nationwide partners choices. We have same-day delivery partners where we have Grab, Lalamove, Mr. Speedy, Transportify, the big ones that is very commonly used in the market. Our scheduled delivery providers, which is GoGo Express, Ninja Van, Entrego, JNT, XTE, and even the mainstream e-commerce providers like Click and Ship, Togi Togi, and a lot more. We also have trucking for the mid-mile or trucking deliveries. We have cold chain and even customized delivery partners as your business needs that service. And right now, we are constantly and continuously adding and onboarding partners to serve our customers, and aggressively onboarding local provincial partners. So if you're logistics partners in the provinces and you have been operating your own logistics team, feel free to hit us up. Maybe we can work things out and align you with our customers' opportunity. Almost all the e-commerce customers that we work with normally has multiple partners. Having an integrated operations would help a lot to scale your business with minimal personal demand. So that's always the reason why they wanted to integrate their system to ours, because they want to scale faster with lesser people to do like manual booking, consolidation, and all. But all business are hesitant to integrate right away, because like if they're dealing with multiple providers, they would need to consider the effort, the time, and the cost that needs to be considered for them to be able to do so. If you notice, like on the left, would you choose to integrate to five partners directly? But normally, from my understanding or the feedback that I got, they normally integrated for 30 days or even more per provider. So integrating 5 providers will take you 150 days. And if you make use of our platform with one single API, in less than 30 days, you can integrate to more than 30 partners in our platform. So that's one. The flexibility of adding a new delivery option. So in case there was a recommendation, for example, I'm a store owner. Hey, Jeff, I am recommending you this provider. They have an API. You can integrate them to your store. That's another cost that needs to be considered and another time that needs to be considered for you to onboard them as a provider. And you're still not sure if they are really perfect fit for your service. Another thing is the maintenance and monitoring of the integration. To ensure the integrity of the integration, it's important for you to have a team that maintains the integration between your platform and the courier provider. So that's another cost for you to consider. And as mentioned earlier, to integrate one partner, normally it will take you roughly around 30 days. But that 30 days might also slide to 3 months, 4 months, or even more. Believe me, we know. We've been integrating with the partners. Another thing that customers appreciate and mostly commonly is the ability to understand the close to accurate status of all their delivery through deliveries.ph. unless they visit and extract all reports in all websites. So, for example, I'm making use of LBC, making use of XDE. I would go to all the website and extract reports for me to understand like the whole statuses in one. And that takes a lot of effort to do so. And having deliveries PH and having only one reference to understand all your deliveries and their statuses, deliveries PH would provide business control in your deliveries. Without such visibility that we are providing to businesses, that visibility on all the status of all the delivery, a business may overlook items, so eventually became forgotten and lost. That's still money. Understanding your own COD receivables, understand the value of products being dispatched, especially if it's a COD transaction. If you don't track and control that, you might lose that money as well. And easy comparison of providers' performance based on the business delivery requirement. Like I said, one courier may not fit a business. So it's always that thing that a business should work well with the courier partners that they're working with. So there's a lot of things that would actually affect that. We even have a case where we were able to provide a solution to shorten the delivery timeline nationwide. So this is our dream, but we were able to apply it and we were able to optimize by 40 to 80% by utilizing our localized delivery partners in the provinces. All this makes our Deliveries PH platform makes so much sense to our customers' operations. Aside from last mile, providing businesses choice on to whom they would like to outsource the deliveries to, we were able to become a massive help for MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, to enable their own delivery operations. There are benefits of operating your own delivery operations. It has been a trend for our customers that we observed 2020, so last year, where e-commerce merchants start to build their own delivery team for their customers. Be it micro to large enterprises, as long as they have understanding of their order and their customer locations, normally it works well for them. The benefit can provide, one, a more curated service, personalized, so you can, as a business, you can provide a unique experience to your customer. You get to have a control over COD transactions, so it will remove the limit and immediately acquire the money or the sales that you actually sold the items to. So rather than waiting for a timeline for the money to be remitted to you, you get the money right away. Control over the delivery SLA, as mentioned earlier, if you can deliver it right away, that will be a good advantage for your business and definitely it will bring more traction to your orders, to your e-commerce. And then possible savings through economies of scale. So how it became reasonable or ideal for you to have your own delivery team is for you to be able to utilize your riders and maximize their day to make it cheaper, like the delivery cost cheaper. Based on our data, a rider is efficient when he reaches 50 kilometers per day. So for us to provide the business and enable the business to operate their own delivery team, we have our second product, which is Fleet. Our second product to support this is Fleet, a data-driven delivery management platform that provides visibility and measurement to their delivery operations. We believe you cannot manage what you can't measure. Fleet is a perfect fit for businesses that manage their own delivery personnel to deliver their goods to their customers. Operating your own delivery operation is a nightmare for many until you find the perfect tool to manage your resources and operate your delivery seamlessly. As we speak, Fleet is being used and applied to different industries such as logistics for their first, mid, and last mile deliveries, restaurants, supermarket, trucking, e-commerce, and internal fleet operations. From our users, we get a general feedback from our users. So from businesses and from consultants, when they were able to use Fleet to measure the performance of their team. Before, they tell us commonly these are the problems that they experience. So whenever they check or measure the performance of their team, what they realize is they're getting biased feedback from their team lead. So a lot of times, the favorable or the best response are going to those riders who are close to the team lead who provides feedbacks to the management. Unnatural data from spot audit. So normally a behavior of a person when they're being monitored, they perform better, they perform faster because they know they are being measured and they want to be like the best among everyone else in the group. Inaccurate data for delivery SLA. So manual logging makes a lot of room for inaccuracy. and heard a lot of stories where customer had issues with the restaurants or business for their delivery commitment, where customer complained the food was delivered late and claiming the commitment it should be free, while the business claims otherwise. They have no way to prove but the word of the personnel. So a lot of times there's always an argument between the customer and the business, and that will take a lot of your support hours or support time to address those issues and concern, and even the brand might suffer as well. Having a tool to manage and measure delivery team's performance to cope in current situation, it's very important, where riders are now accustomed to incentivizing by the number of deliveries that they perform. So having a delivery system, you can create delivery operations KPI, incentivize hardworking employee, you can plan capacity through accurate data, and understand operational cost. Another problem that we are addressing for businesses that operate their own deliveries are the seasonal demand. I know a lot of business has the same problem, especially for food and e-commerce that has their own delivery team. Demands are naturally higher during the period, like Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's, and lately, we've realized and see the impact of the government-imposed lockdowns. Normally, how business reacts is either they outsource a good to a third party, which we can actually provide through the Deliveries PH, hire another temporary employees. So, and last would be to decline the opportunity for them not to miss their commitment to the customer, which is not ideal, right? When you have opportunity, you need to actually fulfill it. So that's the time where business is really thriving during those seasons. Last Mile is also supporting businesses to have an easy access to a pool of delivery resources, and they may acquire as they need it. If Deliveries PH is an Airbnb for deliveries, Riders is an Airbnb for manpower deployment needs, by aggregating partner with agency partners and business to acquire deployment support through our platform. With over 4,000 pool of experienced delivery personnel that would provide business a higher chance of acquiring resources. And what do you expect from the partners? They are employed under background check. So these are employed personnel. They are well-trained professionals with professional driver's license and knows how to handle the product, your customers, and their grooming, and equipped with everything that they need to fulfill their deliveries when they are being deployed to your business. Seamlessly integrated to logistics operations can be achieved by over 13,000 local stores without spending on integration costs. We have been working with and partnering with leading e-commerce platform to add equal value to both platform and provide an easy, seamless solutions to users and start our integrated services right away. With our integrated plugins, we are cutting the integration timeline of 30 to 60 days in just a half day. So if you want to know more, just let us know. So we have two ways, or we have two approaches that we offer to the customer. One is a fully outsourced. So from order, the backend or the team will be processing and packing the goods. And after the market is ready to fulfill, through API, to manual encoding or import, you can outsource it to a third-party provider of your choice. And that provider will pick it up and deliver to your customer. And the second process that we are championing is the hybrid model, where when customer order online, after you confirm, pick and pack the goods, if it's within the serviceable area, it will be created to fleet seamlessly. And the admin will be assigning the job to the riders, and the riders will be delivering the goods to the customer using fleet, and you can measure the performance of your team. Hybrid, because fleet is also integrated to a third-party logistics partners in Deliveries PH. So in case you have an excess, or if it's like a peak hours delivery and you don't have resources anymore, in few clicks of a button, you can outsource it to a third-party logistics partner for them to deliver the goods in your behalf. So you can outsource it to Lalamove, Grab, or Mr. Speedy. Helping business deliver and completed over 200,000 deliveries with over 90 unique businesses customer from different industries and needs are what we achieved so far for Last Mile. We are handling their first mile, mid-mile, last mile, and trucking cold chain, and even customized delivery needs. The goal of Last Mile is to build the largest reliable logistics network in the Philippines and eventually worldwide. We aim to implement and offer cross-border deliveries by next year, quarter 1 or quarter 2, so local merchants can sell their products offshore, not just locally. And this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for listening. If anyone is looking to explore possible logistics structure options to your business and explore our solution to scale your business, We are always open for partnership as well. So you can contact us at lastmile.ph, ask at lastmile.ph. And also, I repeat, we are also looking for more provider partners to be offered to our customers. And we are hoping to connect to more localized providers in the provinces to acquire opportunities from our Last Mile platform. Thank you again.
Okay, maraming salamat, Jeff. At hindi ko alam kung nakita nyo guys no doon sa presentation niya. So if you use the products of Last Mile, Jeff, tama, no, let me know if this is correct. You can get up and running 5 times faster and 6 times na more effective at mas malayo yung reach. Grabe, no? So ganun ka-effective tapos matatrack mo pa real time yung mga deliveries mo palabas. So tama, Jeff, no? That I think that's very accurate and napakagaling ng platform ninyo. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Artie. Thank you for having me here. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right. So we will have si Jeff and si Dennis mamayang hapon. Actually, lahat po ng speakers natin at the end magkakaroon po tayo ng panel. So magsasagot po tayo ng mga questions, no? At so actually, pakita ko muna kaya sa inyo. So marami na tayong mga questions na na nalalagay, no? So kung titingnan nyo, ito yung mga questions so far. Mag-vote po kayo kung ano yung mga tanong na gusto nyo pong itanong din namin sa speakers. And kung wala po dito sa listahan ay free naman kayo to be able to type your questions on this platform. So again, to show you how to do that, all you need to do is go to the website slido.com and enter the event code. Or kung hindi man, you could just use this QR code. So yung phone niyo po, i-picturean niyo po yung QR code at ma-access niyo na po yung Slido. So pwede niyo na po itanong yung mga question niyo doon. So again, just to remind everyone, lahat po ng speakers ay magkakaroon ng parang panel or discussion po mamaya para matanong niyo ang mga tanong niyo at masagot po namin lahat. All right. So let's move on. So up next, ako po. Ako po ang up next. So I will be talking a little bit about NextPay and how we help small businesses. And NextPay is the best alternative to corporate bank accounts for MSMEs. It helps in collection of customer payments via digital invoices, management of company money, and payment to employees, suppliers of bills in batches to any bank or e-wallet in the Philippines. So magkukwento lang po ako sa inyo ng konti. So sana pagbigyan niyo po ako dahil konting kwentuhan lang tayo. So here we are. Let me just turn this on for a second. All right. So ang pag-uusapan po natin today ay na-hassle na ba you? Kasi po, di ba, lahat tayong yung mga negosyante po na nasa audience, yung mga gusto pong maging entrepreneur or currently are entrepreneur, I'm sure marami po kayong mga hassle pagdating sa inyong finances, no? Sa inyong negosyo, sa inyong business. I'm sure na minsan napapunta kayo sa bangko, napakahaba ng pila, o minsan may problema sa bangko, makakausap niyo yung mga manager tapos wala silang magagawa kasi down ang system. O kaya minsan may mga maintenance, di ba? Or yung minsan may mga nakakatrabaho kayo na kailangan bigyan pa ng receipts or kailangan po bigyan ng cheque, nagbabayad ng cheque. So again, mahirap lahat ito. And at the same time, dahil napaka-traffic dito sa Pilipinas, ay mahirap talaga no to be able to do all of these processes just for you to be able to run your business finances well. So that's why I guess ito yung pag-uusapan natin ay kakwento ko. And let's start off with the story of our founders. So kukwento ko po yung dalawang founder po namin. So this is Don and Aldrich of NextPay. And pinanganak po sila sa Pilipinas. So they were born in the Philippines but they moved to Canada and had a professional career. So nagtrabaho po sila sa Canada at sa US. And habang nandun po sila at magkaibigan po sila, nagtayo po sila ng mga ilang negosyo. So they were able to open a lot of businesses there, small businesses, and then nag-decide sila, ba't di tayo bumalik sa Pilipinas para doon tayo magtayo ng negosyo? So umuwi po sila, bumalik sila dito sa Pilipinas. They put up several businesses just like this one. So nagtayo po sila ng flower shop. O di ba po? Dalawang gwapong lalaki nagtayo ng flower shop para sa mga tulad nila na laging nang binibigyan ng mga flowers, no? no? So this was a flower shop online that was focused on male customers because marami pong mga kalalakihan minsan nakakalimot ng mga anniversary o nakakalimot o minsan na napapaaway at kailangan bumili ng mga flowers ng mabilisan. So this is one of the businesses that they put up. It was quite successful, no? And it was very innovative, no? You could easily, easily choose kung para sa mahal niyo ba sa buhay, para sa family mo, kung ano pong occasion. And napakaganda ng produkto nila, no? It was very easy for males to be able to purchase a flower bouquet for whoever. Madali lang po pagdesisyonan. And a lot of people actually used it, no? And as you can see, ako mismo, I was a very happy customer. And napakasaya po ng magandang babae na nakatanggap nitong mga bulaklak na binili ko, di ba? Di ba, Mami? Hi, Mami. I hope you liked it. Okay, so maganda po yung ginawa nilang negosyo, pero nakita po nila na napakahirap magbukas ng negosyo sa Pilipinas compared to the US and Canada. And finance in the Philippines in general wasn't so good. Marami po tayong mga Pilipino na hindi financially literate o walang mga savings, walang mga investments. So nagtayo po sila ng company called NextPay. And what NextPay wanted to do was be able to help people with their personal finances. So tinutulungan po sila mag-save ng pera, to be able to manage their expenses para makapagbayad po ng mga bills tulad ng mga Meralco or tubig. And nakaset aside na yung pangrenta mo, tsaka especially your emergency fund. So ito po yung initially na gusto gawin ng NextPay, no? To be able to help balance yung expenses mo and be able to manage it properly. Pero nung tinatayo po nila ito, ano nangyari? So, syempre, 2020 happened and everybody knows that the world was never the same. So COVID really exposed the inefficiency of the Philippine financial ecosystem. Lumitaw talaga lahat ng problema. So lahat ng problema na na-experience ng mga entrepreneur natin, mga negosyante natin, lalong humirap. Kasi imagine niyo po, 'di ba, mahirap na nga pumila sa bangko tapos nagkaroon pa ng quarantine, hindi ka talaga pwede lumabas. So ito po yung mga ilan sa mga problema na talagang lumitaw, no? First of all, alam natin lahat, currently 9 out of 10 small businesses still deal in cash. So that is definitely a problem. And then digital financial services are accessible, pero sa mga malalaking kumpanya lang kasi masyadong mahal tsaka maraming mga requirements. Yung mga MSME, hindi talaga sila nakakakuha ng mga serbisyo na ganyan sa bangko. Mahirap talaga, mahal at talagang very stringent, no? And yung mga empleyado natin, so gusto man natin silang tulungan, gusto man natin silang bigyan ng sweldo, mahirapan tayo ng quarantine. And specifically the first few weeks, first few months of the quarantine, employees were really suffering to be able to get their money during payday. Kasi kung makuha man nila sa bangko, kailangan pa nila pumunta sa bangko para ma-withdraw. So napakahirap. And alam mo, ang MSMEs in the Philippines, they actually account for 9 out of 10 of the registered businesses, no? So maraming mga negosyo in the Philippines na MSME are similar to si Auntie Wilma, no, o si Tita Wilma na kunyari may karinderya, nagpapasahod ng mga tao, tsaka maliit na negosyo out of sa kanilang bahay. So, nung nangyari po iyon, nagbago yung pag-iisip ng founders namin, si Alo at si Don, and they wanted to change NextPay to be able to help the businesses that needed help the most. And that's why they pivoted NextPay to the all-in-one digital banking solution that simplifies how you do business. So bilang negosyo, 'di ba marami tayong mga financial operations, and yung mga financial operations na yon dun gustong tumulong ni NextPay. In fact, over 90% of the financial operations of NextPay of MSME can be handled under the NextPay platform, no? Nako-cover po nila yon. So meron na po tayo, no, narinig na po natin yung kwento ni Dennis. So gusto po natin magbenta online, meron po tayong platform na pwede magbenta. Kailangan po natin mag-deliver ng mga gamit. Meron na po tayong si Last Mile ni Jeff, no? So matutulungan na po tayo mag-deliver. Si NextPay po matutulungan po tayo ma-manage yung ating expenses, yung mga cash flow natin, no? But before I go there, I wanted to share other things that that we should be thinking about if we want to go digital. So, para dun sa mga negosyante dito in the room, hopefully mga entrepreneur, here are 5 tips para digital na you. Okay? So, tip number 1, kailangan po tanggapin na po natin. Digital, hindi na po tayo wala na po tayong oras para magantay. Dahil po sa pandemic, na shortcut na po, na digital na po lahat ng buong buhay natin. So anything from eskwelahan, 'di ba? Ang mga klase po ay online na, ang work minsan remote work na, no? Marami sa atin remote work na, shopping, ang e-commerce, ang groceries, lahat online. And lahat ng mga customer nyo ay online na rin. So kailangan na po natin talagang pag-isipan actually hindi natin kailangan magdesisyon, kailangan natin planuhin ano na ba talaga ang gagawin natin to be able to get our business online and digital. So again, remember, 98.5% of Filipinos have mobile phones. So we can actually say na almost lahat may cellphone na sa Pilipinas, no? And there was a 5,000% surge in digital payments. Isipin niyo po 'yon, from when we started before the pandemic na puro cash, ngayon marami na po tayong digital payment platforms na ginagamit. And kung gusto po natin magbenta at ang gusto ng customer natin ay online sila magbayad, kailangan na po natin gawa ng paraan. Actually po, hindi lang po yung hindi lang po yung industry, but government has actually already opened their doors and their eyes to digital. In fact, ang isa sa pinakamalaking sign is ang BSP po natin, ang Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, ay nagbibigay na po ng license for a digital bank. Ano po yung digital bank? Yung po yung bangko na posibleng wala na silang branch. Lahat po ng services nila digital na. Isipin niyo po 'yon. So currently there are 4 banks na may license. Ang una po is yung of course Land Bank ng Pilipinas, and then the 2 other licensees were Tonic and Uno. And ito po, napaka-fresh pa po nito. Kahapon lang, July 21, kung makikita nyo. Kaka-announce lang po that the 4th digital bank in the Philippines, or the 4th bank to be able to get a digital license, are Union Bank. So Union Bank na po ang pinaka-latest na digital bank sa Pilipinas. So that's my first tip, no, sa inyo po. Accept na po natin, nandito na po tayo, digital na. So kailangan na natin planuhin. Next, we have to think po that technology is the great equalizer. Ano po to? Doon sa mga sana po nakikilala niyo pa to, no, itong picture na to. So this is a picture to depict the story of David and Goliath, no. And I love using this photo. I love using this photo when talking about technology because just like the slingshot of David, technology is what we can use, is the tool or the weapon that we can use to be able to beat the larger, bigger, and stronger enemies that we have. No, I wouldn't say enemies, but maybe adversaries in business. So dati, isipin nyo 20 years ago, no, kung kunyari gusto nyo magtayo ng negosyo, pag merong malaking negosyo na nagli-lead, medyo mahirap na, 'di ba? Mahirap nang lumaban. So, ngayon hindi na po totoo 'yon. Ngayon, pwedeng magsisimula ka pa lang pero kung gumamit ka ng technology at galingan mo talaga, yung pag-isipan mo talaga at maganda yung team mo, magalang ang team mo, talagang makakalaban ka versus the incumbents, versus the big businesses that are already there. And to give you a good example, globally, isipin niyo po to. JP Morgan and Chase po. This is one of the number 1 biggest bank in the Philippines. In the US. The number 1 biggest bank in the US and the 4th largest bank in the world. They were able to acquire 36 million users in 66 years. It took them 66 years. Pero yung isang app po, isang financial app, fintech app called Venmo in the US na para po siyang Paymaya o GCash na pwede magpadala ng pera sa isa't isa. Nakakuha po sila ng 52 million users in only 12 years. Imagine nyo po yun, 52 million in only 12 years. And then may mas bago pa, si Cash App. So si Venmo, under po yan ng PayPal. So kung familiar po kayo ng PayPal. Tapos yung Cash App, yan po ay new app naman, I believe under Square. So Square launched this app. And they were able to acquire 36 million users in 7 years na lang. So imagine niyo po, because of technology, their adoption has scaled so fast and so wide in such a short period of time. And that's why it's very important to think about technology not as a hindrance, but actually as a tool or as a weapon for us to move ahead, for us to leapfrog the incumbents. Okay? So yan ang second. Third, alam ko po na alam niyo po ito lahat. Bilang negosyante, or nagpapatakbo ng negosyo, I'm sure alam niyo po na ang cash flow po natin ang napaka-importanting bagay. Minsan po marami tayong benta, pero kahit na may benta tayo, pag hindi tayo nakakolekta, wala tayong cash. So pag wala tayong cash, hindi tayo makapagbayad ng sweldo, hindi tayo makapagbayad ng mga supplier o makabili ng raw materials or goods, 'di ba? Para matuloy natin ang ating negosyo. So ang cash flow po ay napaka-importante. So kailangan po isipin natin ano yung mga magagawa natin para ma-improve ang cash flow natin. So kami dito po sa NextPay, isa yun sa mga iniisip namin kung paano makatulong sa mga users namin, sa customers namin, no. And ang isang problema na nakikita namin is ang hirap mangolekta, hindi po ba? Lalo na po kung kakilala natin, no, kung kunyari nagnenegosyo tayo pero mga customer natin ay mga kaibigan natin o kapamilya, or sometimes nakikilala po lang natin dahil very ano tayo, no, very friendly tayo sa ating mga customers. Gusto natin, minsan napakahirap po mangolekta. So ang isang ginagawa po namin sa NextPay para matulungan po kayo ay meron kaming automatic invoice function. So pwede nyo pong padalhan ng invoice automatically yung mga customer nyo via email, and makakatanggap po sila ng notification via SMS. At ang maganda po doon, pag clinic po nila yung link, pag visit po nila, view nila yung invoice, may button po na nakasulat Pay Now. So automatic po, pagkabasa pa lang nila, pwede na po nilang bayaran right away online. Isipin niyo po yun, di ba? So hindi na po masasabi, ay naku, nakalimutan ko, nabasa ko yung invoice pero nakalimutan ko ulit. O kaya hindi ko po nabuksan ko pero hindi ako nakapunta sa bangko. Ngayon, napakadali na. So yung mga customer nyo, they just open the invoice, click Pay Now, and boom, you have already collected from your customers. Oh, ito po. So let's say nakalimot. Kunyari, nabuksan po na yung invoice, pero sige, nakalimutan po o hindi nakapagbayad ka agad. One other thing that NextPay could help you with is we allow you to be able to remind your customers automatically. Hindi nyo na po kailangan gawin. Wala na po kayong kailangan isipin. Magpapadala po kami ng napakagandang email at may notification po ito para mapaalala dun sa mga customer nyo na may pending pa po sila na invoice na kailangan bayaran. So this is something that we are very, very happy, and a lot of our customers are very happy in using this, no? At well, marami na po kaming ibang mga iniisip din ng mga produkto at serbisyo na hopefully makakatulong din in the future. Na kunyari makakatulong po kami sa mga fund, kunyari may financing po kaming mga iniisip para sa ating mga customer o sa ating mga user o sa ating mga suppliers, no. So isa 'yun sa mga pwede pa naming gawin in the future. So I hope you check this out, no, itong mga functionality na to sa NextPay. Okay, so next. So pinag-usapan natin na we talked about cash flow. Pinag-usapan natin na cash flow is very, very important. And it is, but you know, the next thing that's more important, or the next thing that's important for your customers or for your users and for our users also, is convenience. Gusto namin maging convenient ang aming service, ang aming produkto, at gusto namin na convenient siya for the users but also for the customers of our users. So ano po yung convenience, no? Tsaka bakit importante po ba talaga ang convenience? Kung iisipin nyo, kukwentuhan ko po kayo ng one of the most iconic devices that were ever, or inventions that ever happened that were able to give us so much convenience, and that's the microwave oven. Kung aalahanin nyo po, actually, alam niyo ba, yung nakasulat dito 1966 kasi Panasonic yung brand, nagsimula sila noon. But the invention of the microwave oven has actually been there since 1946. So imagine 1946. It's been so long. It's almost a century already of this technology, and we still use it on a daily basis. Literal, siguro mga 3 beses po ako gumamit ng microwave bago po tong event na to. So, napaka-importante po niya. And the reason we use it is because it's so convenient, di ba? Para hindi mo na kailangan maglabas ng kaldero, hindi mo na kailangan magpainit, madali na agad. Ipapasok mo na lang ang pagkain mo at maiinit na siya. Pwede rin tayo magluto, di ba? Via the microwave. So convenience is something that's very important, and it builds, you know, loyalty to the technology, loyalty to the brand, and it just really is gives a good feeling overall, no? Improves the quality of life of our users and our customers, and that's what we want to do. Which is why sa NextPay meron din kaming mga easy to understand and easy to look at and na interface. And convenience, kunyari po magbabayad po tayo ng, nakikita niyo po ito, kung gusto niyo po magbayad sa inyong mga empleyado, tinutulungan po namin kayo para ang gagawin niyo is, isang gawaan na lang ng lista ng lahat ng empleyado. Tapos ililista nyo na lang po ang kanilang mga sweldo. And then automatic, sa isang click, masasend nyo na po lahat ng sweldo ng mga tao na to in one click sa kahit anong bangko. Hindi po kailangan pareho. Kahit iba-iba po ang bank account ng mga empleyado nyo o kung gusto nyo po, GCash. So pwede pa po silang tumanggap ng GCash yung sweldo nila sa GCash. No? So napakadali, napakahalaga po nito sa mga customer namin and user namin. They are very, very happy in being able to disperse this way, this so easily and quickly. And in fact, pati singil as mentioned, and dun sa mga nakakatanggap po naman ng sweldo, nakakatanggap po sila ng payslip na online na pwede po nilang makita kaagad. Makakasulat po lahat ng detalye, kung magkano. And then nakakatanggap din po sila ng ng SMS pag sweldo na po nila. Naku, napaka-importante po nito. Alam niyo po na 12:02 ng madaling araw, after midnight, may natatanggap po ako ng text pagdating ng oras ng sweldo. At kahit gising pa ako ay napakaganda basahin na pumasok na po ang sweldo 2 minutes after after ng sweldo day. So I'm sure ma-enjoy po yan, tsaka magugustuhan po yan ng mga empleyado nyo. Pati po mga supplier nyo, makakatanggap din po ng mga ganyang notification. So again, convenience is very, very important for you, for your users, and for your customers. All right. Tip number 5. This is for all businesses na gusto mag-digital. Choose your customer, not the other way around. So isang pagkakamali na ginagawa ng mga negosyante minsan is pag gumagawa sila ng marketing, sinusubukan po nila i-target lahat ng customers kaagad, no? Gusto nila lahat. Pero hindi po hindi po siya effective lalo na kung nagsisimula pa po tayo, no, or maliit lang po yung negosyo natin. Wala po tayong masyadong wala budget para sa marketing, no. So hindi tayo tulad ng Coke kasi kunyari po si Coke, marami po siyang pera, kilala na yung brand niya all over the world. So all they need to do is put money to put up a billboard and okay na sila sa marketing, okay na sila sa branding. Pero tayo po, we want to become more efficient, no, with our spending for marketing and customer acquisition. And pag nag-digital kayo, that will become so much easier. Napakadami pong tool tulad nitong dashboard po na to. Pag tiningnan niyo po to, 'di ba? Marami po sa atin nagnegosyo, meron tayong Facebook page, meron tayong Instagram, baka may YouTube pa tayo, pero hindi natin siya na ma-maximize para makabenta. So, marami tayong online tools na magagamit na mako-connect po natin yung mga social media accounts na 'yon para maging efficient yung gastos natin. So, ang gusto po natin is gumastos ng maliit na maliit per customer para humaba po ang natin, no, ang gastusin natin for mas marami tayong customers na matatamaan na mapapapunta sa mabebentahan to our platform or product or service. Okay? So, in summary, I just wanted to say that how was a story of one of our customers, no? One of our customers, how were they able to use NextPay and be happy with it? So, isang kwento na to ay ang isang customer namin si labathome, labathomeph.com, sorry. And ang ginagawa po nila is dahil nung pandemic, nung quarantine, pumupunta po sila sa mga bahay-bahay para gumawa ng lab tests or lab results. So, kunyari, COVID tests, mga PCR, swab tests, o kahit mga simpleng test po. Kunyari, blood test dahil may kailangan tayong isubmit sa mga doktor natin or masama yung pakiramdam natin. Lahat po ng klaseng test meron po sa Lab@Home. So gusto niyo pong isilipin. So dati po ang pagbibigay ng sweldo nila at pangongolekta sa customer ay very manual. Pero na-discover po nila yung NextPay and happy po sila because from 3 days na ginagawa nilang 3 days of collection, ngayon 15 to 20 minutes na lang. So napakabilis nung pag-process nila ng payroll, no? Okay. So, ang question ko, ano na ba guys? So, naengganyo na ba kayo? I hope naengganyo na kayo at iniisip nyo na kung paano ba, digital na ba you? Dapat ang sagot ay yes. Okay? So again, thank you very much. So, we're here at NextPay bringing actually good digital finance to small businesses. So we hope that we could help you together with the 100+ customers that we've helped all around the country. Okay, so that is NextPay for digital finance. And up next, we are going to, let me stop sharing this. So meron na tayong e-commerce, meron na tayong deliveries, no? But at the same time, as mentioned, hindi naman puro, napaka-importante ng benta, pero hindi lang benta ang ginagawa natin na digital, no? One of the other things that we're doing is yung finances ng own negosyo natin and yung pag-alaga sa mga needs ng mga tao natin, no? We want our employees to be very cared for, and that is why Cindy of All Care has built their company All Care, and we want to hear from her. So thank you very much, Cindy. Hi, good afternoon. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hi, good afternoon, Cindy.
Hello, good afternoon po sa lahat. I hope you're still with us kahit na sobrang jam-pack ng session na to. Ayan, Arts, do I share?
Yep, I stopped sharing. Go ahead. Free.
Okay. Sige. So I hope andyan pa yung mga kape nyo kung ubos na. Refill na natin yan. Meron pa tayong around 40 to 50 minutes together. Okay. So ayan. Cool. So ang dami na natin natutunan so far. We've heard from Dennis who talked about e-commerce. We've heard from Jeff who was talking about logistics, right? Setting up delivery. And RT spoke about finances, particularly in collection and disbursements, no, even for employees or suppliers. And those are all very important para mag-succeed yung negosyo natin. But sa totoo lang, ang pinaka-importante na part ng kahit anong negosyo ay syempre ang ating mga empleyado. And madalas, nakukuha kong tanong sa mga events na pinupuntahan ko, especially those that are SMEs in nature and powered by DTI, is ito. Should employee wellness be my priority? So this afternoon, my goal is to talk a little bit about what are some of the reasons that businesses don't prioritize this. And hopefully, masagot ko yung mga questions ninyo, no? So, ayan. Okay. Sige. So, tiko lang, familiar ba kayo kay Tony Robbins, no? So, sabi ni Tony Robbins, a very popular motivational speaker worldwide. He is also an executive coach. Sabi niya, the higher your energy level, the more efficient your body. And the more efficient your body, the better you feel and the more you will use your talent to produce outstanding results. However, as entrepreneurs, madalas ito yung mga una nating pinapabayaan. Hindi tayo natutulog ng maaga, hindi tayo umiinom ng enough amount of water. Sinisermon ko yung sarili ko. Madalas, puro kape na lang iniinom natin or energy drinks. And sasabi ni Tony Robbins here, the better your body is, the better you will perform even for your business. So how expensive can unwellness be? No? So this is a study done by Gallup covering the United States. I know sa Pilipinas, it's probably not as large, no? Pero para makakuha tayo ng konting idea how expensive unwellness could be, sinishare ko lang itong data na to. So 1,100, so trillion actually, ang cost of chronic diseases in the United States, of which $250 billion are also from work-related injuries or illnesses. Another 300 billion naman are costs relating to work-related stress. No? Of recent time, alam natin na dumadami din yung mga issues na na-encounter ng ating employees in relation to mental health. And that's not because nag-iiba yung mental state ng mga tao, but the external pressures and even internal pressures ay tumataas. Kunyari itong pandemic na lang, di ba? Napakahirap buong araw, nakakulong ka sa kwarto, talking to a monitor, wala yung natural interactions na nakukuha natin, typically from work. And more importantly, $500 billion is wasted as cost of disengagement. So disengagement, for the business leaders here in HR, mas familiar kayo, disengagement is when you are not able to get the most productive output from your employees. This is probably for many different reasons, no? Meron silang problema or unwell sila physically, emotionally, mentally, and so on. Ayan. So simulan natin ngayon, ano ba yung mga myths about employee wellness? And I'm sure napakadaming nanonood ngayon na business owners ang iniisip, i-delay or saka na magbibigay ng employee wellness plans. And tignan natin ano yung mga common reasons that business owners and leaders usually delay employee wellness. No? So number one, meron tayong misguided notion na hustle equals growth. No? I'm not saying anti-hustle ako, but typically we define hustle by the number of hours nagtatrabaho tayo. Ako, admittedly, I start very early. As soon as I open my eyes sa umaga, chinecheck ko na kaagad yung phone ko kung merong work-related issues na pumasok. No? But we also have to be conscious that it is not necessarily accurate to say the more hustle hours we put in, the more the company will grow, right? That's not necessarily true. In fact, dapat natin tignan what kind of productive hours are needed from our people to really create the growth we desire. Okay. Second myth, we need to stay out of personal problems. Napakadami ko na pong nakausap na business owners, and when we ask them about being invested in their employees' lives, one of the things that I hear a lot is they don't want to be involved with their employees' personal problems. Sometimes being involved in personal problems means we're going to look into our employees' spiritual life, personal life, financial life. And that's important because personal issues like those that I mentioned can adversely affect performance. Because I'm sure na-experience yun na din to, kung broken-hearted tayo, di naman tayo pumapasok sa office tapos biglang di na tayo broken-hearted. Tapos pag-uwi, broken-hearted ulit. Walang ganon. Every time that we encounter personal problems, spiritual problems, psychological issues and challenges, that follows us to the workplace. And so as employers and business leaders, we need to be conscious with this reality. We cannot completely stay out of personal problems. If you ask the people that I work with, they'll always tell you, Cindy pakialamera. Because I enjoy getting involved in their personal lives. No? Ayan. Okay, the other thing that I always hear as a myth is wellness is cost. No? And what we really need is revenue or benta. And possibly, kung kaya, savings, operational savings. However, I think the root of the problem is how we define what actually works. No, when I was doing this presentation, I came across a concept called ROI versus VOI. No, so instead of looking at it from the return on investment perspective, yung isang view na pwede nating i-explore is value of investment. What is the value that you get when you invest in something? And when you invest in wellness, yes, potentially cost center yan. But yung productivity naman, yung loyalty ng employees natin, yung pagiging brand ambassadors nila for us, matutumbasan o mahihigitan nila yung investment na yun. Okay. And last but not the least, one of the common myths that we encounter is that you need an HR professional to run your programs. Of course, it's always going to be better if you let the pros handle it. But if you're starting business of maybe 3, 4, 5 employees, madalas HR is the business owner. Once naging 10, 15, 20 kayo, maybe you'll consider outsourcing to a freelance HR. But often than not, wala pa din yung dedicated HR. And so many businesses think wala na kaming magawa sa employee benefits or sa wellness programs namin because we don't have a dedicated HR person to do it for us. Okay. So now I want to present to you guys some ideas on how to create effective employee wellness programs. No? And later on, I'll show you how you can do this without necessarily hiring a full department of HR professionals. No? So there's a school of thought in the field of sociology, anthropology, and psychology called dimensions of wellness. No? And there are 8 aspects to this: social, financial, physical, spiritual, environmental, emotional, intellectual, and occupational. So it's a mouthful already. Ang daming kailangang isipin. But basically, the dimensions of wellness helps a company or helps an employer understand ano yung aspects ng buhay ng employee na pwede nating i-impact? How can we positively impact our employees' lives through a strategic and tactical approach in the areas of wellness? No? So for example, social, given a pandemic, napakaganda ng mga ginagawa ng startups and SMEs na nakikita ko where they do online games using Zoom. Nagkaroon nga ng spike in the usage of this app called Kahoot over the pandemic because since hindi na makapag-bonding yung mga tao, they're now using tools like Kahoot to create social engagement amongst the employees. No? The other one is financial. If you've ever tried to borrow at yung mga payday lenders natin, no, medyo mabigat yung interest nun. And when our employees miss those payments, talagang medyo na-abuse sila sa collection. No? Collection agent na galit na galit. And even when they're at work, these agents are calling them. So even at the financial aspect, pwede natin silang i-guide. Pwede tayong mag-create ng financial wellness or financial literacy programs. You don't need HR for that. There's so many professionals that are offering that for free. We can also impact physical. So sa team namin at All Care, last year we ran a Biggest Loser campaign. Ako yung nanalo. So sa akin din napunta yung premyo na sinet up ko. And then even at the spiritual level, we can look at how can we increase, not necessarily just faith or religion in per se, but also how are we allowing them to think and reflect about their lives, about the blessings, right? So there are some companies, including ours at All Care, we do devotional Mondays, for example, where we share the word and we engage one another, we share stories. Environmental. Napakahirap mag-work when you belong in an area or you belong into a environmental context that really creates parang uneasiness, high danger levels, medyo madumi, that doesn't create for a perfect working environment. No? And then I'm sure emotional, intellectual, you guys can relate. With the pandemic, it's been really predominant as an issue where mental illnesses or people who've claimed depression and anxiety have really spiked up. And that's because partly of the environmental impact, the societal impact, but also at the level of intellectual and emotional health, right? And occupational is something that we can definitely impact when we have a clear vocational program or development program in relation to vocation of our people. No? So clear ba sa kanila yung promotion roadmap nila? Clear ba sa kanila how they could be better in their work? Are we providing opportunities for training and skills improvement? No? So itong 8 na to, yung parang areas na pwede nating pag-isipan. And honestly, di natin yan kailangan lahat sabay-sabay gawin. You can start with the most basic, for example, emotional, physical, and social. And then as you get momentum, you can slowly add into your program. Okay. So, steps for developing workplace wellness programs. It's not easy, but it's also not. It's not hard, but it's also not easy. No, it's direct, but it needs time and it needs really focus and strategic thinking. No, so I won't go too deeply into it, but there are several steps that we really need to do. First is we need to look at what do we have, who are our people, and what do they need, and using the info and the data from that, we can now create an MVP or a basic program to start with. And then we measure, are our employees happier now that they have this kind of introductory wellness program? Then as we progress, we can do parang agile, no? Improving on that offering quarterly, semi-annual, and even annually. No? So it's a cycle that companies need to improve on. But honestly, you can get started today if you work with a pro. Okay, you don't have to go through the 4 steps that I just went over very quickly to actually create a semblance of a wellness program. You can start working on a holistic program without sacrificing your short-term goals, which are naturally benta, growth, go-to-market, distribution, etc. So dito pumapasok yung startup namin called All Care. So All Care is the country's first and only benefits membership platform designed to provide businesses like yours access to holistic and relevant worker benefits and wellness perks. So instead of setting up your own, our company has designed the most valuable, the most relevant set of programs and benefits that you can avail for your employees by just making them, giving them a membership into our platform. So we are the perfect benefits partner for you because we understand the struggles of SMEs. No? Gaya ng sabi ni Artie kanina, ang hirap mag-complete ng requirements para kang dumadaan sa butas ng karayom. Because Allcare understands that we've created the membership process for our clients, which are the accounts, the SMEs like you. Ginawa namin siyang very easy. Wala na masyadong hinihinging requirements. And on the employee side, yung mga gagamit, everything can be accessed from their phone or from their computers. And the way we've designed our program is very holistic. And every month, every quarter, nag-i-improve yung offering namin, dinadagdagan namin yan ng mga valuable benefits. So the way we've structured the wellness plan is actually aligned with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So all of the physical, the physiological is taken care of. All of the safety and security needs are also taken care of. We create a belongingness, we create community through belongingness in different channels. And then we also run a lot of esteem programs, including improving your confidence through fitness programs. And we even host meron kami upcoming Allcare Academy, for example, where we can really share skills, practical tips for people to improve the way they live if they want to open a business and so forth. No? Ayan. So siya sample lang ng aming My Benefits dashboard. If yung company nyo ay client ni Allcare, yung mga employees magkaka-access to something like this, and from their laptop or from their phone, they can already access all of the benefits that is assigned to them. They don't need to bug boss. They don't need to bug ma'am, sir, para makuha nila yung benefits nila. Everything is on the palm of their hand. No? They need to go to the dentist. They need their birthday cake. They need an APE. Everything is on their phone. They want to go to Sarabia to get their their lenses. Everything is the touch of a button. And actually, marami kaming SME clients are very happy and we're absolutely happy to share testimonies for us. So some of the names here, I'm sure you guys are familiar with. We have Itch Creatives, an advertising agency. We have Bowtie Doc Manila, one of the fastest growing e-commerce marketplaces for high-end goods. And then we have Felix of Aslex. No? So ayan. Okay. And since our establishment in 2019, we've actually onboarded over 200 companies, both small, medium, and we even have large companies. Because sobrang kakaiba ng approach namin with benefits. We make HR jobs really easier kasi pwede nila i-outsource sa amin yung work nila. And if you look at our roster of clients shown here, sobrang kakaiba. We have the church, we have startups, we have traditional businesses, we have BPOs. Wala tayong pinipili because Allcare is really for everyone. So for everyone who's tuning into the webinar, we have an exclusive offer for you to avail of Allcare. No? So if you are watching this webinar and you want to become an Allcare partner or a client, you can access our discounted rates. So everything that I shared kanina, yung nakita niyo parang hierarchy or pyramid of benefits, you can avail of that for 14,500 only per member. Yung price na yan, if pumunta kayo sa ibang provider, kunwari HMO lang, di niya makakuha yung price na yan. Walang ganyan kamurang plan, no? But yung plan ni Allcare, hindi lang siya HMO, lahat kasali na. And then we have a discounted offer also for semi-annual. And then if you are part of this webinar and you subscribe or become a client, you also get two free mental health counseling sessions. So our approach to benefits, like I said, is very holistic. We look at all the dimensions and try to address that each dimension as soon as we can. So if you're looking to find out more about Allcare, number one, feel free to add me on LinkedIn, Cindy Burdette. You'll see me there. At the same time, you can send a quick email at inquiries@allcare.io, or you can visit our website at www.allcare.ph to get more information about our services. Ayun. Thank you.
All right. Maraming salamat, Cindy, for and all care. Grabe, guys. Nakita nyo na. So meron kayong pa-bonus, no? Meron pa kayong special promo dahil nanood kayo today sa ating seminar, no? Ating webinar today. So thank you so much again, Cindy of All Care. And now, what are we going to do? We are going to have everyone. So lahat po ng speaker natin. But before we do that, teka lang, mag-share lang po ako sandali. Again, for those that still have questions, let's post them already, no, para dun sa mga gustong magtanong, i-post nyo po sa slido.com. Ang inyong event code ay digital na ba me. So just because na nag-attend po kayo today, meron po rin tayong mga na makukuhang mga swag, no? Kasi dati pag nag-attend tayo ng event, 'di ba, may swag. So meron din tayong digital swag bag for today. And thank you very much dun sa mga startup partners natin dahil meron silang lahat na nabinigay na promo para sa inyong lahat. So as you can see here, with Prosperna, you get a free My Chat account. Last Mile, madaming waived fees ang makikita. At in All Care, discounted membership. And for NextPay, 50% off the send money fees for your first 3 months. And to be able to access this, all you need to do is sign up our feedback form. And we really want to hear from you, no? So aside from just being able to get the perks, gusto namin malaman, nakatulong ba to sa inyo? Ano po yung mga topics na nagustuhan nyo? And mas importante, ano pa ba yung pwede namin maturo, no? Or pwede namin i-share kung ano pa ba yung ibang tools na gusto nyong matutunan o malaman. Para if ever may plano po kaming ulitin to, alam na po namin kung anong i-discuss. Syempre gusto po namin makatulong, no? That's really what we want to be able to do here today. Okay, so we are going to before we start, no, before we end, let's get everybody up. So can we have everybody up for the questions? Hello. And then I'd like to introduce everyone to our team member, Venice. Hi, Venice. Can you please help us with the different questions, no, that everybody shared for all of our speakers today? Teka, nandito na ba si Dennis and there we go, Dennis and Jeff. There we have Jeff. We good?
What's up, Artie?
All
Okay,
right.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Artie. So ngayon, we are on our Q&A portion. Sa ating audience, kung mayroon pa kayong mga tanong, just send them over by opening the camera sa inyong phone at iscan ang QR code na nasa screen or by going to Slido and typing the hashtag #digitalnabami. Okay, looks like we have a lot of questions here already. So unahin natin ang nasa pinakataas. For all, how do I avoid going back to old habits instead of moving forward with digitalization? So for this question, maaring mauna sumagot si Dennis, tapos si Jeff, tapos si Cindy, tapos last naman si Artie. Okay, Dennis, go take the floor.
Yeah, thanks, Venice. So, I think just like anything in life, you've got to try to create new habits. And when you want to create new habits, you have to accept the fact that it takes 7 to 12 repetitions before a real habit is formed. Sadly, Venice, most people quit whatever new habit after 2 or 3 times. So they never really get to see, hindi sila makukuha yung benefits of new habits. So, just a little tough love. You got to be disciplined and just make it happen.
Okay, next naman, can we have Jeff?
So on my end, if you actually decide to go digitalized, it takes a lot of commitment for you to do so, and make sure you monitor the outputs of like the change. Like whenever you go to a platform and you wanted to do this, you need to monitor the outputs and appreciate what you're getting in return. So like if you can understand the effect of the outputs that you've actually done by doing digitalize your business, I believe like it's hard for you to go back anymore, especially when you have control of your business through the numbers that you're getting from the platforms that we are actually offering. Yeah.
Okay, next we have Cindy.
Sa akin, a little more practical siguro, no? You are what you incentivize, no? So if you really want to move towards your newer digital practices, you can positively reinforce that. You can put incentives for those that stick to that new habit. And inversely, pwede din yun ding i-penalize whoever or negatively reinforce whoever won't stick to the new habits, no? And in this way, proactively, medyo pinupush nyo yung organization talagang towards that complete digital transformation.
Okay, thank you for that. Lastly, we have RT.
Yes, for me, I think one of the things kasi is that if you really see the benefits ng pagiging digital, no, pag nakita mo yung actual na nagagawa niya, I think maeengganyo ka na hindi bumalik eh. And I think that's one of the most important things. So my recommendation is to be able to measure before how you are doing things and measure after and see what kind of incremental improvements na makikita mo. Because pag digital ka na, you know na pag in-improve mo ng konti, mag-i-improve na naman yung results. Improve mo ng konti pa, mag-i-improve na naman yung results. It's very easy to measure it. So that's what I would recommend, no? Be able to be more focused on the metrics of your performance.
I super agree with all of your comments. Actually, I think about going digital, I think the going digital outweighs the benefits over the cost. So I think it's totally worth it. Thank you so much. Next question we have, ayaw ko mag-digital dahil sa convenience fees. Paano nyo kami mako-convince na talagang i-push na ang pag-apply sa platforms nyo? Okay, for this, pwede namang mauna si RT, and then si Cindy, and then si Jeff, and then si Dennis.
Well, alam niyo sa totoo lang, no, yung convenience fees, akala natin mahal yan sa simula eh. Pero when you really compute it nga, like I said earlier, no, if you measure it, pag kinompute mo yung increase sa kikitain nyo dahil sa paggamit nyo ng digital tools, walang-wala yung fees na yan, I'm telling you. I'm sure lahat sila will agree, no? Sila Jeff and Dennis, yung fees nila, whatever it is for their business, they always compute ano yung benefit na mabibigay to the customers over the fees. The fees are very minute compared to the benefits that you will receive as an entrepreneur. I'll leave it to them to be able to explain to the others.
Cindy?
Sige. Well, for all care, wala naman kaming convenience fees. But I guess just to emphasize what si RT shared, it is what it is, right? Convenience fees. There must be something na hindi na ma-maximize. Yeah, feel inconvenienced kayo by the pricing, right? But maybe that's something you should look into pagdating sa pricing. But we're a heavy tech user, even sa organization namin sa All Care. No? We use a lot of stuff like HubSpot, Notion, Slack, and we use paid versions of this. But because we understand nga para saan namin sila ginagamit and ano yung benefit talaga nitong mga to, we have come to an opinion na kahit convenience fees pa yan, meron niyang lugar doon sa aming operation. So I guess my challenge for whoever asked this is, you need to figure out if you really are being inconvenienced with your current procedure, magiging worth it to. Baka naman hindi mo talaga kailangan, di ba? Kapitbahay mo lang yung kliyente mo, di talaga mangolekta ka na lang mano-mano. But until then, figure out what's your inconvenience level.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, we have Jeff.
I couldn't agree more from the both presenters kanina. So technically, when we think of the pricing in mind, we make sure that the value that the customer is paying for is 10 times on what they're getting. So we know best way to actually understand further how this convenience fee would make sense to your business is having a meeting with us. We've actually met a lot of businesses and discussed with them how much they could actually optimize and make space. Hindi para magbuwas ka ng tao but to add more opportunities for you to process and deliver more to your customer to make things cheaper on your operational side. So ang dami kaming use cases that we can share. And yeah, exactly. We make sure na kaya namin pinaprice na ganito, it's because it makes sense for the users and it's very reasonable on their end. Kaya nga naka-platform fee siya rather than a committed convenience subscription fee on the model side. So yun.
Thank you. Lastly, we have Dennis.
Yeah, this is a really interesting question. Before I kind of give the Prosperna point of view, let me just share an objective perspective first. So if I was a merchant and I was selecting between different software platforms and I was looking at one that might have a convenience fee, I would need to ask myself, what is the value of my time, right? And is the val and do I get value or do I save time for the cost of that transaction? And based on that, as a merchant and a business owner and entrepreneur, where should you best focus your time, right? So let's say, for as an example, platform A, and it costs, I don't know, 20 pesos per transaction. Is it worth your time to spend 15 minutes going back and forth with every customer to try to negotiate how payment will be made, how shipping will be booked, and then later on, if you cannot respond fast enough, you lose the customer? Would you rather the system be automatically doing that for you for 20 pesos so that you could spend your time focusing on building your brand, focus on providing customer service, procuring and building the best catalog of the best products, right? I think, that's something that a merchant needs to weigh out, right? Now, let me take off that hat off for a second. From a Prosperna point of view, we actually don't charge convenience fees. What we want to do is we want to provide the software platform at a reasonable fixed monthly fee, but we do have a free plan. That way, all of the profits or the majority of the profits can go to the pockets of the MSME and of the owner. And then they can predictably understand how much their consistent expense will be. And therefore, they get the best of both worlds, right? That's my thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much. I agree. Time is gold and time is money. Next question we have for Dennis. Online platforms tend to be too saturated with so much content coming from different shops. What can we do to stand out?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. And, standing out online is a really hot topic and it's extremely important. And I think if you look at first the marketing research out there, I think somewhere like the Marketing Association of the Philippines, they have some research that shows that I know it's at least 60% of consumers out there would rather buy from a brand that they are familiar and comfortable with versus a brand that they don't know about, right? So if you're just pushing your product, right, and not investing on building your brand, which is your experience, the service, what you stand for, what you don't stand for, then all you will be doing is competing as a commodity from brand A to brand B. So for every industry, those different ways to differentiate yourself are different. But I would focus on those areas, to create a unique value proposition of your brand.
Okay, thank you so much. Next question. For all, how can we tell if our digital transformation is successful? Anyone can start, anyone can answer. Just feel free to speak up.
Yeah, I think you'll know. I don't know about the other guys, but what do you think? I think you'll know because then you'll start to feel more comfortable using the tools that you're using. After nga yung sabi ni Dennis, no, sometimes it just takes anywhere between 7 to 21 days, I believe, to develop a habit. So that's one thing that you can do. Also, you'll start to see your metrics start to change. Hopefully, if you're doing it right, if you're maintaining and using the tools properly, then you can see the benefits already in terms of business performance, or even just optimizing performance in the office. No? Kasi hindi naman tayo lahat pangbenta eh. So yung iba, kunyari, yung payday nila, they used to take 3 days to do their payday. Tapos after using NextPay, now it just takes them 30 minutes, 15 minutes pa sometimes. So hindi nag-improve yung kita, pero nag-improve yung optimization ng processes nila sa opisina. So that is quickly felt, no? So ako, I would see that, that's what I would say. How about you guys?
For me, I would think like customers would actually pay for something with an expectation in mind. So, syempre, parang they're the ones who can actually set what they aim for as a target. And we're just here to set expectation na siguro for the first few months ito yung magiging effect niyan, and then ito yung target natin as KPI, being a digital platform. Pero yun, I believe like before you shell out money and sign a contract, you have an expectation in mind as an output for like contracting us as platform providers.
Siguro for me, the way I would do it, at least for our organization, no, is that you must have, I guess, like what Jeff said, no, you have an expectation, or alternatively, you have an objective. What is it in your process, your value chain, for example, the way you handle supply or delivery or whatever it is? What is it that you want to transform, right? Do you want to speed it up? Do you want it to be cheaper? Want it to be more effective, efficient? Many adjectives, di ba? And after you measure where you're at, and then you apply the changes that you think will be brought to you by using technology and digital tools, kunwari, and you see that sustainably nag-improve yung metrics na una nyong sinukat. I think that's the starting point for digital transformation. The second part is not just the metrics that you're measuring, but the adoption of the organization, meaning that everybody in the team has bought into the vision. Madalas kasi ito yung nakakalimutan na para the emotional and psychological side of digital transformation. No? Ang nakikita lang natin is numbers, numbers, numbers. But we also need to make sure everybody in the company joins us in that vision. No? Bought in sila para kahit may struggles, gaya ng sinabi ng lahat ng panelists, sa simula naman talaga meron eh. But kahit may struggle, because they bought in, gusto nila hanggang dulo makita yung results.
I would just add, to emphasize one of the key words that Cindy had mentioned, which is adoption. So if it's a internal process, digital transformation initiative, then you can measure adoption based on usage of a new system. Let's say electronic disbursement, right? NextPay. So you can easily measure, right, how many checkbooks you have to physically order, which is a pain, or how many disbursements are made. So those really, if you break down adoption into really small units of measure, that will help you. Same thing if you just look at adoption from the pure, online selling standpoint, right? I mean, it's just flat out, are people asking and inquiring? And then you measure from the inquiry how many inquiries you get from, to how many people actually purchase, right? So, adoption can be measured if you break it down into small measurable units. So yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next question for Dennis again. Do you think the Philippines would have the capacity na makipagsabayan sa mga international online platforms kahit mabagal ang internet natin?
Well, here's, what, Venice, the Philippines we are getting so much attention from outside investors, in Southeast Asia. We're getting so much attention, believe it or not, from, the rest of the world, right? Because everybody sees some of the key metrics and they look at these key metrics and go, wow, the Philippines is a huge opportunity because it's kind of like, of course, less in volume, but we have similar demographics to the way China was before they went digital, 15, 20 years ago, right? we have an average age of 25 years old. So these people grow up with digital. You don't even have to ask them. It's innate, right? And our population is growing almost faster than any other population despite the COVID, right? And we have a rising middle class. So all of these economic forces, right, are going to overcome certain challenges like slow internet, because the demand is going to be so furious and fierce that it's not going to, you can't stop consumers. If they want a service or a product, they're going to find a way to buy it, you know. And today, you know, the most frictionless way to buy it is through digital, right? So I just encourage everybody to look at the outside and see what are they looking at in terms of the positive opportunities in the Philippines. And that's where MSMEs, you know, have the biggest chance to gain, you know.
Okay, thank you. I super agree. Numbers don't lie. And yeah, next question for Jeff. What's the cost difference with last mile versus other relatively robust delivery platforms?
So for the delivery platform that we created, which is Fleet, we have actually created the product with the Filipino market in mind. The processes are directly Filipino requirement, so we have a COD handling and all. And we make sure that the pricing that we actually offer in the market is acceptable to the Filipino pricing, considering like the operational cost and all. So a lot of times we have been competing in the market against like the foreign systems, the big brands that has been there in the market, offering their systems in the market. To compare our price, I believe and evidently our price is cheaper because we make sure, like, that's why we imply a hybrid model, that we ask for a small subscription cost per transaction, subscription cost per every resources, and per transaction cost for every successful delivery, because we believe we should only earn when you earn. So that's the pricing model that we have, and we make sure it's like competitive and reasonable for the local business operations.
Thank you. Next, galing ng last mile, something new. Curious if you are the only one like this in the Philippines.
Having the ecosystem, definitely I can claim we are the only one, but for every product in the ecosystem, we have competitors as well. So competitors is good. It means the product is needed in the market. So, yep.
I agree. Thank you so much. Next question for NextPay. How much capital should I have to use your platform?
Well, the short answer to this is none, no? Because to use NextPay, we are a pay-per-use platform. So, ang bayad po natin is sa gamit lang. So, hindi po siya depending kung magkano yung ipapasok niyo na pera or kung magkano yung capitalization ng company. It's really, kung kunyari, marami kayong transaction, marami kayong magiging fee kasi yung fee namin is per transaction. Pero kung konti lang, edi konti lang din yung babayaran nyo per transaction. So we are very, very open and usable for small companies, medium companies, and even large companies. So yeah, feel free to check it out. Dun sa mga maraming tanong about things like this, please look for Anna and Jarika in the chat and they could definitely help you out.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Next question from Kiams. Can local delivery, like no app, only FB page is a way of accept order compatible to join Prosperna e-commerce? I think the question is FB compatible with Prosperna as an e-commerce platform?
Yes, thanks, Venice. Yeah, great question. And yes, Prosperna is very deeply integrated with Facebook. So the challenge with Facebook is that there's no way to have payments or automatic booking of shipping. And that's the value add that Prosperna's MyChat offers, is so the catalog, the payments, and the shipping can automatically be done inside and integrated to Facebook without ever leaving.
Okay, thank you so much. Next question for all. What would you say is the biggest challenge or hindrance for MSMEs to go digital, and what can we do to overcome or move through the challenge? So let's keep our answers kind of short because We need to answer all of the questions if we can. So yeah, go shoot.
Ako for me, go ahead, Dennis.
I mean, really simply, it's mindset, right? Because if you don't have the mindset, you'll never take action. That's number one.
Agree. I think fear of change. But as startups, ang ginagawa namin is we try to show na other people have used it and are very happy. So check out the success stories of the different startups here.
I agree with them both. So it takes a lot of convincing for us to actually, convince them to make use of the digital platform that we are offering. So it's really a mindset that they really want to have the change to digitalization.
Okay, great. Next question to Artie. I've been hearing about NextPay, but what are you exactly? A bank, a payment gateway, or e-wallet?
Okay. So at NextPay, we don't like to sort of categorize ourselves to a certain product. No, what we want to do is we want to focus on the problem that we're trying to solve. And the problem that we're trying to solve is we're trying to help small SMEs or small to medium enterprises or small businesses to be able to manage their finances well. Right now, we're doing that by being able to help them with their sending of money, their collecting money, and managing money. So sending money, we do it via disbursements, which is the best in the business. We send to any bank and e-wallet for a very, very low price, and you can do it in batches. We collect money through an invoicing platform that allows you to be able to pay right there on the invoice. On the invoice, just click and you get collect. You can collect already. Plus, you get notified in many channels. And then we're able to manage your money because you can actually see all of the money that's coming in and coming out on the platform. It allows you to monitor how well your business is doing. Now, this is just the start. Kaya kasi sinasabi namin na we don't want to categorize to a product because what are the other things that we can do to help MSMEs with their finances? So we could help with financing. We could help you with your expenses through corporate credit cards, which normally you won't be allowed to be able to get or you won't have the necessary requirements. So these are the things that are really up and coming. I hope you join the platform, try us out now, and expect a lot of interesting and exciting stuff happening later towards this year. So again, please look for Anna and Jar in the chat, and I hope they can help you out.
Thank you, Artie. Okay, next question for Cindy. What's the best measurement to correlate employee wellness to business growth?
Oh, great question. There isn't one naman metric for business growth. No? So typically large enterprises, companies like Jollibee, for example, who do this regularly, they use what is called an employee engagement survey to measure wellness in relation to their affinity towards the company. So for example, some questions that may be included there is, how likely are you to refer your friends and network to working for this company? Or how likely are you to leave in the next 6 to 12 months your job? Diba? If you're happy and you feel that the company is taking care of you, your needs are being met, you will very likely answer that you are not going to leave in the next 6 months. So that's the more generic, no? But at the same time, let's say you look into your sales team, wellness plays an important role with sales. You guys probably know sales is a very intense function in the company. They're always on the phone. They're always talking to people. Before the pandemic, so many sales reps were on the roads, diba? And it's important that as they burn their health, their mind health for the company, meron din tayong ginagawa to make sure that they stay. So the sales metrics would be directly correlated also to your enablement. So we have that metric, sales enablement and employee wellness metrics. So, but at the same time, yung churn rate mo din ng empleyado is also a very important business metric. What's your churn? Resignation rate, di ba? Kunyari for advertising. Quite high yung turnover rate or yung resignation rate for some advertising agencies. And then when you look at ano yung mga wellness programs that they have for their employees, medyo non-existent, no? And so this is where you really have to think through a holistic paradigm for your employees. Hindi puro target lang. Kailangan pinoprovide din natin yung support that they need to make sure they hit their numbers.
Okay, let us just skim through the questions for all. How secured are your platforms with data privacy, etc.?
Well, I can say that for our platform, we are doing everything that we can to be able to adhere to all the data privacy guidelines and laws. And we're going to continue to keep doing that and improving that through the years to come.
Yeah, from a Prosperna standpoint, I will say that we are PCI compliant, and we've been able to pass very, very stringent data privacy accreditation from some of the largest companies here in the Philippines. Because it's not only MSMEs who have decided to use Prosperna, but some of the largest companies have said, "Hey, we want to work with a local e-commerce partner," and we've had to pass some pretty strict tests. Yeah.
Like for last man, like as Prosperna. So in NextPay, we apply a strict compliance and data privacy, and we invest on compliance for last mile. We make sure that we adhere to the data privacy requirements and accreditation.
Sa amin, same, no? We obviously we're compliant with the Data Privacy Act, but at the same time, we're also very transparent ano yung data na we handle for our members. Especially, we do a lot of their medyo in private information because it talks about wellness, diba? So, yeah.
Okay, to Cindy, how to draw the line into getting too involved in many employees' lives?
In your employees' lives? For me, kasi I have a different leadership style. No? I really get involved because I believe my role as a mentor and leader and coach isn't just at the professional level, but also as at the personal level. No? I need to make sure that people around me are becoming better people, not just better professionals. But at the same time, we can't solve all of their problems. So I guess that's the line we have to draw. If we really think we're not the best people to solve or at least advise them on those, look at where you can lead them. No? Maybe if they're struggling mentally, you can always refer them to professionals. If they're struggling physically, we have doctors and fitness coaches and nutritionists in that regard. No? So that's how I would deal with that.
2 minutes lightning round.
Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, since we have 2 minutes left, I'd like to ask you guys a question. Okay, so what is your overall advice to the aspiring entrepreneurs in our audience on going digital? Just like a simple advice that you can impart to them. Yeah, just that's it.
Who wants to start?
Go, coach.
Alrighty then. I should have kept my mouth shut. So yeah, I guess what I would recommend. No, so I've been coaching entrepreneurs and founders for years, and they usually ask me one question, and the question has always been, "What's your biggest regret?" And I always have one answer, and that answer is that I didn't start sooner. So if you're thinking if you should start now, if you're waiting for a sign, well, first of all, this is it. This is the sign. So you have no excuse. At the same time, if you've been planning for so long, just do it, guys. There's no perfect time. You won't get everything right. That's the one thing that you have to accept. You will never get everything right. But the most important thing is when you get stuff wrong, you learn, you stand up, and you do it again. So that would be my advice to entrepreneurs. And of course, since you're starting now, it's digital, stay digital, learn, and maximize. Okay? Leverage on digital.
Sige, ako na mag-next. Para hindi ako ma-outshine ni Dennis or ni Jeff. Siguro for me, if you're thinking about doing it, so gaya nga ng sinabi ni RT, there's no real best time, no? But you also don't naman have to throw everything out of the window kasama logic and then just go become an entrepreneur. There's a developing school of thought na or concept, di ba, yung side hustling. There are many ways that you can start your entrepreneurial journey without sacrificing a whole lot of things. No? If you can do an MVP version, the other week I got a chance to speak with a super well diversified food entrepreneurs, F&B, no? And he said they all start with stalls and kiosks before they create a full restaurant concept. So it's an interesting take now. If you have an idea, what is the minimum version that you can test it out? Can it be an Instagram business? Can it be a Facebook business? Can you create your online shop using something like Prosperna where it's quite low investment before you go full on hiring 100 people, no? And you better be prepared for the journey. It is a very grueling. If you're coming into it thinking, ayoko na kasi magkaroon ng boss, you probably have the wrong motivation. Kasi your customers will definitely be your boss. They're gonna say crappy things about you, and kung di makapal yung lining ng sikmura nyo, it's gonna be tough.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, you go ahead, Dennis.
Okay, I would just say first off, I think in a weird way, life and business, it's almost like a game of opposites. It's okay to dream and think big, but you really got to start small so you can move fast. Moving fast has been the advantage and the thing that led to our success. If we were crying March 15 last year, we would not be where we were today. But we pulled up our pants and said, let's find a solution and let's bring a product that people need. And that ability to move fast, right, and small is, I think, really, really important versus thinking too big and getting stifled. Same thing with your marketing. I think I said earlier, you try to market too many products to the entire, Philippines, you'll be dead before you start it. Think small, win, move on to the next one.
For me, I think number one is like you should be passionate about the problem that you'd like to solve. That's number one. And like everyone else, make sure start small. Start with MVP. That's the startup's favorite word, right? Like we wanted to create MVP, and don't expect that if you're going to this business, you expect to deliver the product right away when you go live. So create an MVP, target the milestones, and then slowly get to your product proper eventually, rather than like going big right away, spend so much money right away, and then you realize like everyone else is doing it already. So it's hard for me to get the market. So it's always okay to start with a simple product solution, sell it to the market, create traction, and then while you're earning small amount of money, you develop the product until you reach the main product that you want to build. At least you already have a customer as early as MVP.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so inspired, and I'm sure yung mga nanonood din ngayon ng aming webinar ay inspired din. But okay, folks, mukhang yan lang ang panahon namin for question and answer today. Thank you so much to our panelists, our speakers, Artie, Cindy, Jeff, and Dennis. Thank you for your wonderful answers. Now back to you, Artie.
Thank you very much, Ven. And dun sa mga nagtanong at may mga questions na hindi nasagot, guys, don't worry. So maraming mga representatives from all the companies, from Last Mile, Prosperna, and All Care, NextPay na nasa chat. So doon nyo na lang i-message ang mga tanong nyo, and I'm sure marami po ang sasagot. Or lagyan nyo po yung contact details nyo, marami po ang ko-contact sa inyo doon. Okay? So right now, I would just like to ask the speakers for some final words on the event itself, and then the topic on digital, maybe some parting words, and I'll just follow the order here. Sorry guys. So Jeff, some final words from you.
So thank you very much for listening to us, and NextPay did a really good job building this lineup of like amazing speakers. So I mean, I'm not sure why I'm here. They are amazing. And in case you wanted to explore further, like feel free, like don't hesitate to ask. Huwag mahiyang magtanong. So like if you want to explore logistics operations, or if you think you can fit and offer your services to us, or you wanted to see like what are your options for you to send your products from point A to point B. There's a lot of businesses out there I know struggling to actually create that model. Feel free to reach out to Last Mile team, and we'll be happy to assist you. And we're easy to deal with and speak with. So
All right.
thank you from you soon.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And Dennis, let's hear from you.
I would just say, Artie, and please correct my Tagalog, na ito na. The next 10 years is going to be the most amazing milestone for our country. And I believe that the MSMEs are going to be the game changer. So let's all work together. right? That's why we have great companies, great products, great technologies made here in our country specifically for our Philippine MSMEs. So let's work together, build a better Philippines, and go prosper nation.
Woo! Go Grass. Tama, ito na. Ito na. Ito na, Dennis. Maraming salamat. This is the sign. Go Prosper Nation. Thank you very much, Dennis. Cindy.
So completely bought into the vision that Dennis said. No, the next 10 years it's going to be an MSME play, and so I would like to think na as business leaders, and napakaraming business leaders ang nag-start as corporate employees, di ba? Let's not forget how happy we were when we were receiving, benefits and care from our large employers. With All Care, hindi nyo kailangan hintayin na maging malaki kayong company bago makapagbigay ng kahit maliit na care for your employees. No? So your benefits can definitely be taken care of by All Care. And again, digital transformation is tough in the beginning. But if you know exactly where you're going into it and what you're trying to achieve, you should be able to see really, really valuable improvements, optimization, and even improvements in top line, no? Benta at saka improvements sa bottom line. So I hope you guys would reach out to us. Our Facebook page is hyperactive. If you need anything, just message us there. You can also send us an email at inquiries@allcare.io or just go to our website, allcare.ph. Meron ding chat box doon. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cindy. And for me, ako ang gusto ko lang sabihin sa audience natin ngayon, no. So we had a great set of speakers talk, no. We had Jeff to talk about all of their logistics products and how they're helping small businesses deliver to anywhere in the Philippines, right? Dennis, we have Dennis who has an amazing platform that allows anybody to be able to sell online easily and quickly. And we have Cindy who has a platform that allows you to best take care of your employees because your employees are your capital, diba? They're what make you make you successful as a company and as a product and as a service. And kami at NextPay, we want to help you manage your finances properly, be able to send money, collect money, and many other things in the future, a lot of exciting things. But what I wanted to say is, we're not the only guys doing this. These are just 4 people from 4 companies from a larger ecosystem of mga digital and online startups that want to help SMEs. And marami po dyan. So wag po kayong matakot. Kami po we're just the start. We've just shared our story in our product. But feel free to ask us if you have any other things that you want to learn about. Actually, guys, this is something that we can keep doing, no? And we could continue to be able to promote other products and services. So I hope that you guys are be okay, no? Cindy, Dennis, and Jeff, if you want to come back and be able to do this again and talk about many other things about digitalization, I guess we'd love to have you back. All right, good. We have an okay signal from everyone. So again, hindi lang kami. There are many things, and the DTI will also help. Thank you so much, DTI, for allowing us to get the word out there sa mga negosyo centers, sa mga negosyante natin from all over the Philippines. Okay, so right now, we'd like to thank everybody again, and we'd like to take the opportunity to hear from one of the co-founders of NextPay to end us with some closing remarks and talk a little bit about what happened today. Hi, good afternoon, Aldrich. How are you?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Magandang hapon. Good afternoon, and thank you again to everybody, all the speakers, Jeff, Dennis, Cindy, and Artie, of course. I was listening on the whole event, and I actually learned a lot from you guys. So thank you so much again for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your experience here with everybody. And I hope everybody watching out there also got a lot out of this webinar. I do want to say that this is going to be the first of many. As all of us on the panel, all of our companies, were really focused on empowering more and more MSMEs in the Philippines. So with that, we want to know how all of our companies actually, how we can contribute to the growth of your companies and give you that success that you're chasing, right? And the reason why these companies are so good at what they do is because they really do listen to their customers, and we're all very customer focused. So you will be heard. So please tell us how else we can support your growth. we'd also want to ask the crowd to please tell us what else you want to learn next from webinars like this, and we'll make sure we'll get that in the following months as we continue to share more wisdom for MSMEs out there. We do have a feedback form and a QR code that you can scan for all of this. And for all of those watching and for all of those who signed up to the webinar, we actually have a few, like a digital goodie bag for you guys, some extra perks for watching and for supporting the webinar. So thank you again for that. And if you want to learn more about NextPay or any of the other companies, just their teams are here in the chat. Please drop your contacts, but you can also email us at info@nextpay.ph. So again, I don't have much else to say other than thank you to everybody for such a great webinar. Very, very insightful. And it's raining here in Metro Manila, so I hope you're all staying warm and dry and cozy. And other than that, take care and stay safe. So thank you so much. Back to Artie or
Thank you very much.
thank
Yep,
you.
thank you very much, Aldrich Tan, one of the co-founders of NextPay. Again, thank you to our speakers. Thank you to Cindy, Dennis, and Jeff. Thank you again to the DTI for really supporting this endeavor to be able to help SMEs. And I hope you continue to help us with other activities and other programs. So sa mga negosyante at mga attendees natin today, maraming salamat. And we hope to see you in our next event. Thank you. Have a good afternoon, everyone.